All right, we are actually recording. As you can see, I got a new mic. This is episode number 2 of the Shits and Giggles show. I am your host, Matt Bernal. And let's see, the studio obviously is not done because I'm still sitting here talking to myself in my spare bedroom. But rest assured, folks, we will most definitely have our studio up and running in the next couple of weeks. But I figured for those 2-3 people that did subscribe, I might as well give you some content. All right, what do we got this week? We have the outraged. I'm outraged. It's bullshit. Nobody's outraged. You're outraged if you get rear-ended. You're outraged if your child gets murdered. That's when you would be outraged. Sitting on a story for, 20 years, and then all of a sudden producing it because it's politically expedient does not cause outrage. We all know about the pictures that they released saying that Donald Trump is separating kids from their parents and all this stuff, and then it turns out to be an Obama thing, and the media ran all over it, and they were outraged. And one guy, I don't know who it was. He was a senator. I'm haunted by the images I've seen. Fuck you. No, you're not. For one, you're a politician. I'm convinced these people are robots. They're unfeeling and truly incapable of an original thought. Except for sort of the outliers, which would be like what? Bernie Sanders and Rand Paul. They're opposite sides of the spectrum, obviously, but you'll see them with actual original thoughts and original ideas, even though Bernie Sanders are fucking retarded ideas, but nonetheless, they're original ideas as compared to everybody else in Washington. But then you have the Jim Acostas and the fake news. And I was thinking, why do they allow this jerk-off to be part of the White House press poll? And then it occurred to me, CNN is falling into the typical Donald Trump trap. Of course, he's labeled CNN and Jim Acosta fake news. And CNN does not like having their cover pulled like that. But the longer we see Jim Acosta act the way he does, ask the questions in the manner he does, be rude, he's proving Donald Trump's point for him, and which, in my opinion, is one of the greatest things he's ever done, even though I hated it. The reason being is what we're seeing is a renaissance for free speech and actual journalism. I'm not a journalist, obviously. I shouldn't even have had to say that to you. You know I'm not a journalist. In fact, I'm just a nobody with a microphone. But anyway, you're seeing a renaissance of the freedom speech movement. I was kind of surprised today. I was flicking through Amazon Prime looking at movies, and I wanted to check out Gavin McInnes' movie, How to Be a Man. Gavin McInnes is a trippy dude. I only recently discovered him through Compound Media's channel and stuff like that. And he used to have a show on Compound Media, and now he has a show on CRTV. And I figured he was just sort of like this guy that was plugged into the New York comedy scene and was a guy on our side, and wasn't your traditional conservative, maybe like Ben Shapiro. And was I wrong? This dude is a self-made mogul of an industry that he's sort of created for himself. And we're seeing more people like that don't fit into the typical conservative box anymore. They're loud. They wear the First Amendment on their sleeve. They're fearless. Ben Shapiro, Anthony Cumia, Gavin McInnes, Steven Crowder. This is the new media. And the longer that CNN stays in the White House press pool, the more people will seek out alternatives, and therefore they're falling into Donald Trump's trap just by being themselves. Back to outrage. I don't know why. You guys are going to have to get used to this. I have a thought here, thought there. I have nothing written. I'm just riffing. There's a clip, and I'm going to show it to you right now.
Can fix it with this flick of a pen by signing a presidential order to end the agonizing screams of small children who have been separated from their parents. Mr. President, I'll lend you my pen. Any pen. You can fix it yourself. So we're here today to say, Mr. President, you should and you must fix this problem. But if you don't want to change this cruel policy, at least admit it is your decision.
Okay, so I actually didn't really watch the clip, but, I had to make the transition. That would be Chuck Schumer wanting to cry, but because he got slapped down like a little bitch so hard last time, he can't do it. And here's Elijah Cummings doing the same thing.
We do not need legislation. This is a policy, and understand this. This was a policy invented, implemented, and executed by President Donald Trump. And so, in conclusion, Mr. Chairman, we need you. Those children need you. And I'm talking directly to my Republican colleagues. We need you to stand up to President Trump.
Poor Elijah. They want to cry so bad. It's just they've worked so hard at perfecting their alligator tears that I think they feel a sense of personal loss that Donald Trump took it for them. Because if one tear shows up, he's crying Chuck again, and we laugh. So he is really shaking up Washington. Just imagine it. I mean, he's living in their heads. It's awesome. Thinking about that, like how politicians are going to have to adjust. Sometime around 2024, we're going to have to run somebody for president in the Republican Party that's not Donald Trump. And I was thinking that today. How in the fuck are we ever going to vote for a regular politician again? You would have to be one hell of a dynamic, traditional politician to even qualify to be a Republican on the Republican ticket, because Donald Trump has taken everything we know about politics and turned it on its head. And I caution, please, whoever runs, do not try to be Donald Trump as far as his mannerisms go and his brashness. That's just Donald Trump. There's no way you're going to be able to manufacture that if it's not part of your personality. And we are very good at seeing through bullshit. There is no longer 3 channels anymore that filter the news. There's all of us. There on the left, the right. You have about 1 million podcasts, and we're all going to point out this dude's fake. But what you can learn from Donald Trump is a results oriented administration. Saying things and not doing them is no longer going to be an option. And that's what we saw out of George. But what's funny, man? Like, during 9/11, I was glad we had George Bush and stuff like that. But the further I get away and the more we get into a results-oriented administration, the more I realize even George W. Bush was bullshit. And I'm sort of sad that I ever gave him my support, but that's the best we had at the time. And there it is. And then you have Barack Obama. Take everything. I can't stand the fucking guy. He's everything that I hate. He's but take all that away. All right, he was a good speaker. He was a polished dude. I don't even think liberals are going to want that anymore. They're going to want results. And that's what I hope the Republican Party gloms onto with when we get into a post-Trump era, more than rather than his brashness and outspokenness. Yeah, don't try to copy Trump. It's never going to happen. It's just like here when I first tried to record this. The ones that you didn't see, it was like I was essentially just trying to be Anthony Cumia rather than myself, and it didn't work. It's disingenuous, and it just looked stupid. So here I am bumbling. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of all that I got this week. I wanted to touch on the show, what's going on with the show. So Engineer Brian, or whatever however we're going to address him in the show, is currently building a studio and figuring out some of the technology. I'm going to have to stumble through this just showing those clips. But eventually we're going to have guests, and we're going to be able to watch those clips live together, because I think people's reaction to what we see on the news is important. And so that's going to be fun. More guests, maybe some stupid skits, whatever we come up with. But wanted to give you guys a little bit of content and update. Yes, we're going to continue working on the show, and we're going to develop it. I'm going to put this one out for good or worse. So anyway, it was a pleasure. I'm Matt Bernal, and I'm doing this just for shits and giggles. Can I do that?
Prepare to be entertained. You're watching Shits and Giggles.
I'm going to talk to my kid. See you next week there, folks.